YouTube Oziko in the Goat House is back today. I got 5 big name, huge free agents that I think are actually going to end up on new teams. Not guaranteeing anything here. Could be an unpredictable world out there in the NFL offseason, but I got 5 guys that there's reasons to believe that not only will they get paid because they're big-time players, but they could be heading to different teams here. So we're going to break it down. We'll talk about who those teams may be along with the 5 big-time free agents here. So we got plenty of videos like this on the channel covering free agency, covering the NFL in general, draft content. We grade every single free agency signing. We break the news on Twitter. We discuss my thoughts initially on there. If you're not following that Twitter, you're missing out. There's a link down below, pinned in the comments for that, and other important things. Make sure you join us for all this content. Love this time of year. So J.C. Jackson, who I thought of this video idea maybe last week and then didn't put it together until now, obviously. And I wasn't really planning on J.C. Jackson being in here, but then we see his comments that, hey, the Patriots didn't offer me a contract yet, and I guess they don't want me, and I'm ready to head out. And there's talk about him wanting top 5 corner money, which that's not out there, really. That's not too out there for him to want that or think that. If somebody doesn't want to pay that, that's definitely understandable, though, at the same time. So it's interesting. I really still think, even though I put him on this video, I really still think the Patriots will come along and offer him, but I've been talking about it for a while. That's why it's an interesting one. I talked about a year ago. Remember when the Patriots put that second-round tender on J.C. Jackson? I was talking about it right away. The day they did, I was probably tweeting it, that it feels like they're daring somebody to do it because they get a second-round pick. They were okay with the thoughts of letting go of their potential star corner and getting that second-round pick back. It's just kind of a Bill Belichick move. They get him back on that tender, and we'll see what they do. But, this next year, which is now, here we are, it just felt like they didn't want to give out the giant contract. That's kind of what it felt like. Feels like that in the past. They didn't value corners super high. They like getting the compensatory picks for guys. So they did let Gilmore go on a trade, though. So that kind of made you think, maybe they are going to get J.C. Jackson. Maybe they want to pay him. They just don't want to pay Gilmore. So it's interesting. But now that almost at this specific time, it sounds like he may be going elsewhere. Here's some team, and he's going to get paid a lot of money. So here's some teams with enough cap space to do so that also need a corner and that he also fits. The Raiders, decent cap space, but great cap space in the future. So if you sign a long-term young guy like J.C. Jackson, you backload that thing and you got no problem there. I think you'd fit Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham, his defense, a little bit more zone coverage last year, but in the past, more man coverage with J.C. Jackson's a man corner. But I still think he would like him, obviously, to help him run man coverage there. The Jets, Salah was kind of more of a zone guy, but just last year, the Jets ran a ton of man coverage, so I think they would like J.C. Jackson, who gave the Jets some problems here this past year, and they have a ton of cap space. The Steelers, a little thin at cornerback this past year, weren't able to run the man coverage they usually run. They're usually one of the top man coverage teams in the past. Joe Hayden, a free agent. There was some talk, this was almost months ago actually, talk that he might be going elsewhere. We'll see if things change there. And they bring Brian Flores in, who's not going to run the show there, but another man coverage type guy. So I think they want to get back on track here. J.C. Jackson would make sense, would really fit. Other great landing spots. We'll do the Patriots in there. Like I said, I really think the Patriots will still make an offer. They might not have the best offer, though. I can see that part, and he might take the best offer. The Panthers transitioned to more of a man coverage team this past year, given why they traded for Stephon Gilmore, which they didn't trade a lot for, but maybe they go with the other Patriots corner. Maybe they want the young duo. They let Gilmore walk, they let Dante Jackson walk, and then they go J.C. Horn and J.C. Jackson, different J.C.s, but that would actually make sense too. But their focus could be on offensive line. Chargers looking to improve at the cornerback position. It can help them run more man coverage, which I think Staley would like to do a little bit of. The Seahawks didn't want to pay Griffin last year. They didn't really felt he was worth the money. Are they just not valuing corners, or are they trying to find the right one to actually value? If that was the case, I think this could be the right time here. More fits, teams that could be looking for corners. Some of them a little tight on cap space. Cardinals, 49ers clear some space. Moving on from Garoppolo, but the Broncos could pair him with Surtain. And the Bears could pair J.C. Jackson with Jalen Johnson. That'd be a pretty damn good duo there. Either the Broncos, Bears would be a great duo, but Bears could be focusing their money on offensive line, receivers. So, yeah, I really like the top 3 fits there. Like we said, the Panthers made sense. Patriots can come along and make an offer, like I said. Next one, Teron Armstead, who's one of the very best free agents available. You rarely see a left tackle Trent Williams was available last year, so I guess a year ago you saw it. But other than that, you rarely see it. Because Armstead is I would say Pro Bowl level, but an all-pro level left tackle here with great experience, great play. So there's going to be teams throwing money at him. A lot of good fits, a lot of teams that could use a tackle. The Saints don't have the cap space to re-sign him, whether it's right now or the future. They will clear some space, though, and they would definitely like him back. They can't franchise tag him because he has voidable years on his deal, so that's just kind of a rule. You can't franchise tag a guy with that. So it is a little tricky for the Saints. I think they'll clear enough space to be able to make him an offer, and now we just wait and see and just, for their sake, bank on him taking a hometown discount, which is very possible. So that's why I have the Saints and the also great landing spots there. But I think teams like the Dolphins, the Steelers, I really look at the Dolphins and Steelers. I think those teams are going to break the bank. I would be shocked if those teams didn't make a giant offer for Teron Armstead. So I really like those two teams there. They're both trying to run the ball more. And Armstead, equally gives you run blocking upgrade and pass protection blocking, or upgrade, I should say. And then the Colts, looking for that left tackle still. And remember Costanzo, since he retired, they're looking for that guy. Eric Fisher, was he really that guy this year? So this would kind of fit Colts football. They want that left tackle that they'll value highly, and this could be that guy. Could go back to Saints, like we said. The Bears are looking for a left tackle to protect Justin Fields. They'll definitely make an offer. I think the Panthers are looking for that left tackle, and then a couple wild card teams there. At the bottom, the Jaguars would have to move on from Cam Robinson, which is realistic. I shouldn't say very, but realistic. And then they'd have to be willing to or wanting to go Armstead instead of draft one first, and the Seahawks would have to not re-sign Dwayne Brown. And this would be an upgrade, but kind of wild cards for those reasons. But again, I really, really like the Dolphins, Steelers, and put the Colts up there too. But I think all these teams listed top 6 teams I have listed will probably make an offer. I'd be surprised actually if they didn't. Next up, Allen Robinson, receiver from the Bears. I really don't think he's going back to the Bears, so that's why I kept the Bears in there just in case, but I kind of put him towards the bottom there. Didn't really work out this past year with them. And then some teams that could use an outside receiver, and I think really fits. I think he really, really fits the Chargers, and I think he's. I don't care what the stats said last year, based off 1 year, but I think he's better than Mike Williams. I think if the Chargers went Allen Robinson instead of Mike Williams, I would love that. I think he's an excellent fit. I just don't think they do it, so I didn't. Took him off the top 3 spot, knocked him down there. Washington, because Curtis Samuel's more of that, creative utility type guy. And then have McLaurin with Allen Robinson can make some sense there. The Browns definitely can use an upgrade on the outside receiver to help their passing game out. But I really like the Raiders. The Raiders, I think, by far makes the most sense to me here. In my opinion, it's the type of outside receiver they're looking for. A good contested catcher, can do a bit of everything. Good pairing with Derek Carr, so I'd really like that for the Raiders. Dolphins could use an outside receiver. We talked about I like what to fit with the Chargers, but they may just go Mike Williams instead because they're similar types of receivers. Eagles could use one as well, and then some extra fits there. Could he end up back with the Jacksonville Jaguars? Colts looking for receivers. Is he too much like Michael Pittman? Patriots. I know people keep matching the Patriots with free agent receivers. I'm not going to rule them out, but it's just they spent so much in general last year in free agency, but they spent so much at the receiver position that are they going to do it again? It's kind of tough. And Robinson felt like he'd been linked to the Ravens for some time, but I think it's more just fans doing that. But who knows? They might grab him. I really like the Raiders though. I really like the Chargers, as you can tell, but I don't think that's going to happen. Could though, definitely could. Next one, Chandler Jones, pass rusher from the Cardinals. Very well could end up back in the Cardinals. This one was a little tough putting in here. The main reason I'm thinking he could go elsewhere is, they wouldn't extend him going into the year, and it felt like he wanted to trade at one point, but that kind of went away pretty quick. But it felt like he wasn't happy, the price point he was playing at and that he didn't have an extension. So I think he could be going elsewhere. I could see him landing on a contending team. I really like the Ravens. The Ravens, they got some good young pass rushers in there. I think they're more gearing more towards they're changing their defense a little bit with Martindale gone, and they want some pass rushers that straight up get after the quarterback. So I think pairing this veteran Chandler Jones. Yeah, I think they'd like him there. The Chiefs definitely need some edge rush help. Whether they move on from Frank Clark or not, they need it. The good thing about Chandler Jones, I think he fits either scheme. So you see different schemes here. So Chiefs, contending team, going to clear some space. It's definitely a realistic landing spot. And the Chargers could use a edge rusher as well. Again, fits as an outside linebacker in 3-4 scheme there. Could potentially be a contending team. Could end up back in the Cardinals, like I said. Could kind of be that Von Miller replacement for the Broncos. They trade him away. They're going to get Chandler Jones for that defense. The Colts could use a veteran guy. They got 2 solid young guys in there, but they just need more production. So get that veteran guy in there. And then Patriots, where he once was. Seattle Seahawks, Eagles, and Dolphins are kind of the wild card teams there that are also fits for Chandler Jones. So curious to see where he ends up. And then one more. Marcus Maye, who I think kind of is the sleeper of this list because he's better than people realize. We didn't see him really this year. He had a fantastic year in 2020, I guess it's tricky to figure out where he'll. I mean, I feel pretty damn good that the 3 teams I have listed at the top, I really, really like those teams. But it is tricky to figure out where exactly he fits because if you go back to when Jamal Adams was with the Jets, Marcus Maye really just played the free safety role because Adams was doing his thing around the box. But then his good year when Greg Williams was the defensive coordinator kind of got unique with him. Played him at both strong and free, played him around the box a lot, man covered some guys, tight ends. Just had him pretty much doing a little bit of everything. So it's a little tricky. I threw some teams in here that some need a strong safety, some need a free safety. It's going to come down to do teams, how do they view him? Maybe they don't like him as a strong. They only like him as a free. So hey, we don't need him because we're looking for a strong. So that's just what it's going to come down to. I really like Texans. Really like the Ravens are looking to maybe get a more coverage guy in there. But really like the Texans, they're looking for different types of safeties. I think Marcus Maye is a guy for Lovie Smith's scheme, perhaps. But I really, really like the Eagles. Both their safeties are free agents. This seems like a Jonathan Gannon type guy who actually learned from under Greg Williams in his past, kind of growing up here. And then Marcus Maye was kind of a Greg Williams type of guy there. I mean, I don't know if he was a big fan of Greg Williams, but he thrived in that. The scheme that year. So I really like the Eagles. I like the Eagles for Marcus Maye. This guy could be, since he was injured last year and there was a little uncertainty on where he would fit and maybe didn't get along with the new staff, maybe he won't get a long-term deal. Maybe it's kind of a trial run here, but it could be a pretty good signing there. But I like the Eagles. I really like the Eagles. Some other teams that could use safety, again, it's really going to depend on where they view him playing, because everyone's going to be, I think it's a guy that's unique. Everyone's going to be different with him. So I think he's a good ball player, though. I think he's, the other guys in this list with these huge names, some may call them star players, and people may think Marcus Maye is nowhere near their level. I think he's a little closer to their level. Obviously, different position, but than people think there. So, but it's a guy I'm pretty confident will be on a different team. Wasn't happy about the tag with the Jets last year. It didn't really feel like they really had that great of a plan for him. They didn't really know. Could be wrong, but they didn't really know how to use him. Really, does he really fit that scheme over there? That's kind of more the question. So I think he'll definitely end up somewhere else. Kind of the sleeper guy this list, like I said. We actually had a sleeper video, free agent sleepers. I had 8 of them. Some kind of under the radar guys that I really think will make a big impact on their new team. That's a recent video that went up. So check that out. We got all kinds of free agency coverage, all kinds. We grade every signing that's coming up as the signings happen. We cover the NFL draft. The combine is this week, so I'm really excited about that. We'll go over winners and losers, and we'll have a post-combine updated mock. Really exciting time of the year here at the Goat House. So join us, like, subscribe, turn notifications on, follow our Twitter. There's a link for that pinned in the comments, along with some important links, recent videos, things like that. So check them out. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.